Justice Madan Bhimarao Lokur, sir, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to deliver Chief Guest message.
Thank you. Honorable the Chief Justice, Justice Ramesh Ranganathan, all the honorable judges who are present here today, the Director General of Police, Sri.M.Mahendar Reddy, the Secretary, Department of Women and Child Development, Mr. Jagadeeshwar, Ms. Swati Lakra, Inspector General Law and Order and Women's Safety. Where is she? Yeah. And all the judicial officers who are here, ladies and gentlemen, and more importantly, the media. I think you have a very, very important role to play in the matter of child rights. Well, first of all, I must say that today is a wonderful occasion that this court has been inaugurated. I remember having come here a few months ago when it was still under construction, and I was wondering how much time it's going to take for the construction to be complete. But it seems to have been done in record time, and the visit today indicated that it's a top-class, state-of-the-art, child-friendly court. So congratulations to everybody who's been involved in this. I was also told that this is just the first step, and that there are going to be several such courts in different parts of the state. I'm sure it will happen sooner than later, and once that happens, I think the state is ready to take off and give guidance to the rest of the country on issues pertaining to child rights, particularly child-friendly courts. I would like to say that many of these innovative ideas that have been discussed from time to time and which are going to be implemented in the near future, including child-friendly courts, are ideas by their nature being innovative. They're still developing, so changes are bound to happen. For example, when we had courts in the country, in different parts of the country, we did not think in those days that there's going to be a Lok Adalat. So adjustments had to be made for providing a room for Lok Adalat. Then we did not think that mediation would pick up. So changes had to be made for having mediation rooms. So things keep evolving, and I'm mentioning this because my request is that it should not be static, that once we have this child-friendly court, it should remain like this. As the court progresses, as cases come, as litigants come, as victims come, there would be some changes that may be required here or there. There may be some modifications, there may be some additions. It may be realized that something which should have been done has not been done, or something which has been done should not necessarily have been done. So it's an evolving and a developing science, and I would request Ms. Swati Lakra and the Director General of Police to keep a watch on how things are going, to monitor it, to supervise it, because that's the only way in which we can learn. It's not that we made one child-friendly court, it's perfect and we don't need to do anything. I don't think that happens. So there will be some changes that may be required in the future. So just keep monitoring it, supervising it, so that one can learn from experiences. I've been to the child-friendly courts in Bangalore and in Delhi, in Karkarduma, and a couple of other places as well. And this is definitely far superior. And why is it far superior? It's far superior because certain things which should have been done in the other courts were not done. I don't know about Goa, I have not been there, but this is how things evolve. So let's keep that in mind and progress from there. The second thing that I would like to say is that we should realize that actually the police are the first responders in any crime. If a crime is committed, the first thing we do is we go to the police. We don't go here and there trying to find out what has happened. So really this initiative that has been taken by the police department, by Mr. Reddy and Ms. Lakra, I think is extremely significant, because this is really the role of the police as the first responders, so that if there is any crime that is committed against a child or even against a lady, domestic violence or a sexual offense, the first thing that they're going to do is, come to the police and register a complaint. So really this is a very significant step, and this Bharosa Center is the only one of its kind that I have come across. There has been talk about one-stop centers in different parts of the country, but this is really an excellent place. I remember on the last occasion I had spent some time over here visiting the various rooms. The idea of a SHE team is again something remarkable and very innovative, and this is really how the police can actually be with the people and build up the confidence of the people that the police is there to respond to whatever grievances that you may have in respect of crimes, whatever type of crimes there are, not only sexual offences or domestic violence, but anything else also. So really this is a wonderful initiative that has been taken by the police over here. I would also like to say that all of us as a society have a very important role in recognizing child rights. My belief is that we have neglected the rights of children for a very, very long time. We had the Juvenile Justice Act in 1985-86. Hardly anybody knows about it. We had the Juvenile Justice Act of 2000. It was not being implemented. The then Chief Justice of India in I think 2005 received complaints that there is a law for the protection of the rights of children, but nothing is being done about it. And several meetings have been taking place with the Chief Justices of all the High Courts, with the Chief Ministers of all the states, with the in the Chief Justices conference, and issues of child rights have been discussed. But really in the last couple of years I think things have picked up. So it's really a very good step forward, where we realize that the children are the future of the country. I mean, we can keep on talking about children being the future of the country, but if we don't look after our children, what kind of a future are we going to have? So this is really something which is very, very important, and all of us as members of society have to contribute in whatever way we can. There are persons who have given up time. I have come across persons who have given up their time and have undergone some kind of a training as support persons. Now try and look at it from the point of view of a child, a child who's 3 years old, or child who's 4 years old or 5 years old, who's been raped. How are you going to find out what actually happened? How is the child going to describe what has happened? What is the nature of the examination in chief? What is the nature of the cross-examination? How do you elicit the truth? It's different when you're dealing with an adult, but when a child of 3, 4, 5, 6 years old doesn't even know what's happening, how do you find out all this? So these are really things which we need to think about, for the future, for the present certainly, but for the future also. And there are studies going on in some of these aspects. Some child psychologists, some child specialists are working on this, and this is the only way in which we can nurture our children and make sure that they have a bright future. I have mentioned the media specifically because I think you are the people who have the maximum reach, whether it is the print media or whether it is the audiovisual media. You have the maximum reach, and if you are in a position to spend some of your time talking about children, moving around in different parts of the state, moving around in different parts of the city, you will realize what is actually happening. And once you're in a position to communicate that to the people, to those who are in government, those who are making policy, a huge change can be brought about. In this context, I must recall an incident in the National Police Academy a couple of years ago when I was here in Hyderabad. One of the programs one day in the programs was where all the new IPS recruits were asked to go around the city of Hyderabad and just observe what is happening. So they were split up into 6 or 7 groups or something, and they went all over the city of Hyderabad went to the police stations, went to different areas, and the next day they were to give a presentation. And I was invited by the National Police Academy for that presentation. Each speaker of every group said that the visit within the city of Hyderabad had left a very deep impact on his or her mind. They realized how actually the police stations function. They realized how the traffic is managed. They realized what happens to children or persons on the road. And I felt at that point of time that these IPS recruits who had come, they're not going to forget that one day, that they spent at the ground level, understanding what is actually happening in Hyderabad. So this kind of being in touch with what is happening in society, all of us can do it. The media can project it. So this is where you're very important, where you can actually, since you're moving around everywhere, you can bring it to the notice of the policy makers, and I'm sure they'll do things. The state has done extremely well in respect of child rights, and I'm sure they will do wonderful things in respect of the dignity of women, the rights of women, and several other issues that all of us face in society. So thank you very much to all of you for giving me this wonderful opportunity of sharing some thoughts with all of you. And I want to congratulate all of you once again, for this excellent job that you have done, and for the architect also, who has come out with a wonderful plan. And I'm sure we'll go far ahead. The state will go far ahead in the protection of child rights and in the protection of the rights of women. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you, Miller.